नमस्कार, आप देख रहे हैं एपीएन न्यूज़ और मैं हूं आपके साथ श्रुति कौशल। स्वागत है आपका हमारे इस खास शो में। आज हमारे साथ एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट गेस्ट जुड़ रहे हैं, लॉर्ड रामी रेंजर, हु इज़ द कमांडर ऑफ ब्रिटिश एम्पायर, हु इज़ ऑल्सो अ philanthropist and a successful businessman and who has won several prestigious accolades in the field. We have with us Vice President of Supreme Court Bar Association and Senior Advocate Mr. Pradeep Rai, and Supreme Court Advocates of Record Association President Mr. Manoj Mishra. Today we're going to talk about the life struggles of Mr. Rami Ranger and about the legal system of India and Britain. You are a successful businessman who have won several prestigious accolades in the field and also a philanthropist. How philanthropy came into the picture?
Thank you for inviting me to your show. Shruti, I'm delighted to be here among such amazing audience of young, bright, educated people. Now, my life journey started in a refugee camp. I'm a posthumous child. My father was assassinated 2 months before my birth because he opposed the breakup of India. He could foretell the consequences of religious disharmony. He pleaded with the then Muslim leader not to cut and run. If you create something on the basis of hatred, you'll have to generate more hatred for survival. We will never see peace. Today we are united, tomorrow we'll become rival. Unfortunately, he was, the student of DAV school took out a procession against the partition of India. They got caught in communal riot. My father, being community leader, went to save them. He managed to save the student, but he was assassinated. So we lost our ancestral home, country, and breadwinner. So we arrived on a refugee train to Patiala, where Maharaja Patiala had opened refugee camps. So we lost everything, but luckily we had a remarkable mother who told us, never give up, never give in. Whatever fate throws at us, we will accept it and we will rise above the challenge. So she worked as a teacher. She couldn't give us a lot of money, but she instilled the right values. The values are what makes people successful or unsuccessful. It's the value system which we have in India, value system which I took to England, kept us above the rest. We were 7 brothers and 1 sister, and one after the other they went into the Indian Army. So 5 brothers became commissioned officer, and my mother became the proudest Indian mother for giving 5 sons to the defense of India. I arrived in England because I was the youngest one. I bluffed my mother that I'll go there for study Bharat law. I'll earn more money when I come back. But when I arrived there, it was a total cultural shock. What you imagine, what you see in English picture is not what it is. When I arrived 51 years ago, England was totally hostile to immigrants because we were their colonies a few years back. We were struggling community. We had no track record of success. People were just looking down upon us as if we were what we used to be. But we had to prove them that although we came from a poor country, but we had come with rich values. This is value, again and again I remember, that your students have to have those values which people aspire and people respect.
That when you actually went there was a hostile environment. But what miracle happened? Now we see lot of marriages from black to white, white to black. How it happened?
It all happened because of the value system. I give example, in 1947, 2 countries were created. One to promote people on the basis of religion. They devalued Hindus, they devalued non-Muslim, and they gave them their head start, suddenly. But in India, we were a secular constitution. Equality for all was enshrined in the constitution, that we are all equal. Therefore, we didn't have to use religious card to be better than the other guy. So you can see in Pakistan, they had a brain drain. They got rid of all the best people because they only promoted religion. Religion is for peace of mind. It is not to put people in a straitjacket. So in India, we have those secular values because we're a very ancient civilization, and women empowerment is a prerequisite for a civil society, because women are the architect of the next generation.
I referred especially this query to you, that how this social change happened in the UK. As far as Indian context is concerned, we had right to equality, we had a kind of fundamental feeling. But how they changed? Because the transformation has not only happened in India, it happened to them also. Because the same India was under British rule. And after this end of British rule, we accommodated many of the Britishers in India. Even the Vice Chancellor of DU was Lord Mountbatten himself. Till his last breath, he was here. Not only this, those days, when you go there, there must be some feeling of black and white.
No,
now that feeling is not that visible.
This is exactly what I'm saying. Our values brought us that we never used religion, we never made ghettos, we integrated, we worked hard, we proved ourselves. Before we had no track record of success, we were struggling. It's not normal for a new immigrant to struggle and to secure. Having secured ourselves, having inspired to live like an English people, if you go to England and you don't adapt English values, then you deny yourself the opportunity. So we integrated, we took their values. You know, when I remember 50 years ago, they could not stand our food, curry. They used to be so naak upar aa jata. Now they can't get enough of it. It's a matter of time that we have demonstrated that we are not what you had perceived. So we had to change their perception through working hard. Now all the blue chip companies are run by Indian because we are product of a country. So therefore, the attitude has changed because we have reflected the best quality in us.
They all are students of law. And one major question which arises in the mind of all the law students, I have seen those days when Brexit was actually just a campaign, and it took the chairs of many prime ministers, taking from the Blair to even Theresa May, even Boris Johnson because of COVID. But what you feel that how this Brexit happened, how this opinion of the entire union was changed? Why Britain opted to exit from the European Union?
Mr. Roy, you know, the British people are very proud people. They don't want to be dominated. They had a very big empire, the biggest empire in the world they had. They have touched the life of almost everyone in the world. They always feel they're ahead of others. And they are in so many ways. You know, their democracy they give us. So what they wanted was they wanted to control their borders. Because Britain being English-speaking area with very high benefit system and the economy doing better than Eastern European country like Poland, Romania, Czechoslovakia, Lithuania, you know, all these developing countries, Greece, they knew that a lot more immigrants will come to Britain because Britain population went up by 5 million people in that period of time. But we did not make 5 million homes. We did not increase capacity for the schools. We did not increase the capacity for the hospital. So there was a lot of pressure and the immigrants were coming, taking advantage of the free medicine, going back, and all the criminals were just coming in without any checks and balances. So they wanted to control their borders, and they wanted to make sure that they bring people who they really need, not somebody who just comes in, pushes the wages count down, because they were ready to work or at any cost. So there was a lot of danger to the social fabric of Great Britain, and then there would have been a lot of resentment against the immigrants also. So therefore, they want to control the border, and that's what happened. And this is good for country like India, because now Indian can go there on merit.
You see, earlier this Supreme Court of the United Kingdom, if they decide anything, if they pass an order, it was subject of House of Lords. Because of the European Union, the court was shifted from the House of Lords to the European Union. Now you have taken the route of Brexit. Do you feel any possibility that again House of Lords will be in the commanding position and they will be above the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom?
Yes, because European Court of Human Rights, we will not be subscribing because we believe that our human rights record is better than that of other countries. So we are very strong to look after our own interest. Our own laws are there to protect us, and certain laws, you know, for example, if you have 28, 29 members, there are differences in each other, and it is very difficult to carry 28 people or 29 people together, economically, politically, justice. There's so many different. So it's better that you are independent. You can design your own destiny to the best for your citizen.
Do you feel that any other prime minister will attain the level of Margaret Thatcher, or you feel that somebody, Churchill, there is no question because he was prime minister pre-independence India, and thereafter also he became prime minister. But even Margaret Thatcher's stature was so big, she was very popular across the globe. So do you feel that there is any possibility that again some prime minister of the UK can become have a command over the same popularity?
You see, again, I come back to value system again and again. Margaret Thatcher was successful and revered by everybody because she had a value. At one time, Britain had become the sick man of Europe. We could not even buy British product because the British trade union had such high powers and rights that you had to break in 5 minutes, you had to do this, you could not fire anybody, you couldn't do so many laws were putting people in straitjacket. We were not able to compete with any country because the product we were manufacturing cost double because of this trade union rules and regulation which we had to accommodate. And the result was nobody could buy British. So British, we were importing, the Chinese import were coming in, Japanese products were coming in. So we were all buying Datsun, Toyotas and Hondas and all these, and British industry went down the hill. And you know, Jaguar Land Rover was bought by Tata. And the same company is now number one in United Kingdom because of the values of Tata brought to this. So anybody can become Margaret Thatcher. Rishi Sunak, who is of Indian descent, is now fighting to be the Prime Minister. If he can, he's a staunch follower of Margaret Thatcher. If he can bring Margaret Thatcher's values, then I'm sure he will be remembered for the work he will do, because the empowering people is the most important in a country, because people are the most valuable asset of a nation. So I am very confident Rishi Sunak will become a disciple of Margaret Thatcher, because he was influenced great deal by Margaret Thatcher's policies, which made Britain from a sick man of Europe to the most prosperous economy.
You are working so hard to make Rishi Sunak as Prime Minister of the UK. You tell me that what are the qualities of Rishi Sunak? Why now people have started liking a party like Conservative Party? They are also, in place of liking a white man, they are preferring a black man.
I would also like to add a question. In one of your interviews, you have said that Rishi Sunak is someone who can, unite the Conservative Party. So do you think the party is divided?
At the moment, it is divided because we have a leadership contest. Yeah, if it's not divided, there will be no contest. So party is divided, but Rishi is very pragmatic, very intelligent. So first of all, he was a scholarship holder to university. Then he studied at Harvard. Then he worked in a banking sector where he was success. Then he worked, then he became a chancellor, and he proved himself as a chancellor during the most unprecedented time brought about by COVID pandemic, when industry was collapsing, people were scared to come out. We were all under the grip of fear, whether I'm going to be alive tomorrow or not. And so he brought this furlough scheme where he paid employees and employers money to keep the businesses going, keep the staff surviving. So what that did was that now our economy is recovering very fast because of the measure he took at that time. He also found money for the COVID vaccination. Very quickly, within a few months, the vaccination, AstraZeneca, with the help of serum factory in Pune, were able to create a vaccine for the world. And I'm so proud that India has already produced 2 billion vaccination to help the poorer nation, because not everybody could buy Pfizer or Moderna because they're very much expensive. So therefore, Rishi has the experience because he has proved himself in the most difficult time. He is very humble, he's very transparent, he's very ethical, and above all, it will send a very positive signal about Britain, that it doesn't matter where you come from, what matters is where you're going.
So you referred Rishi being educated at Harvard. Do you really feel that educational institution matters?
Sir, they say no knowledge without college. When you go to this kind of university, you meet the cream de la cream. You can't learn much from your own experience. You know, today you're sitting here, you are learning from the experience of others. If you have to learn everything from your experience, you will be here for 10,000 years, because you will not be able to live. That's why people go to lectures, they go to universities, they go to college to learn what they would not have learned otherwise staying at home. So therefore, you also learn from people in the company. They say you're judged by the company you keep. People who go to Harvard, they're very ambitious people, they're very committed people, they're very visionary, because they have sacrificed so much to be in Harvard. And in the company of those people, with the company of the professor, who are also best among the rest, you learned a great deal about the real world out there. So I think there is no substitute of going to university or college. You know, if everybody could become smart staying at home, then colleges will close down.
Now it's time for our interactive session where our law students will shoot our esteemed guest with their questions.
मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि सर व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन इंडियन पॉलिटिशियन एंड योर यूके सर?
There is no difference, but what difference is depends. If you got good politician in majority are committed. Today I can talk to you today of Indian politician Modi ji. Modi ji is a remarkable politician. His action, his rhetoric is not there. He has seen how many people have bank account, how many people have toilets, how many people have gas, how many people have benefited, how road structure is improving, how shipbuilding, how the status of Indian is perceived in the world today, and how the defense of India is becoming strong, how the economy is becoming strong. कहते हैं सूरज चढ़ेगा दुनिया देखेगी. So leader की जो qualities हैं वो अपने आप उभर के बाहर आ जाती है. And Modi ji has done one more remarkable thing. He has picked up his team very carefully. You take any of these team member. I've met quite a few people, because a leader has to set an example, inspire people. Other thing, a community or the country as great as its leader, and Modi ji has demonstrated that he is cut above the rest. He probably is the best leader in the world today, according to the poll where they are. He is the most visionary. He has kept a relationship with Russia. He's kept relationship with America. He is not a stooge of any country. He is an independent and Atmanirbhar scheme is the best scheme, because when you don't depend on other people, you are not exploited.
Sir, I do have a question. Sir, my name is Mimansha Prakash, and I have a question, and I think everyone here have the same question, that how to practice law in London, and is it harder to practice there from like India? That's
very good question. Nothing is hard if you work harder. It becomes easier. If you're looking for short-term gains or quick, if you do not have challenges, like I do business in 130 countries. They are the most difficulty, Africa, Middle East, Caribbean, where the big boys don't want to go because the market is too small, or it's very challenging and difficult. When you crack a difficult thing, then you have less competition. But if it's easy, there'll be queue of people doing exactly what you're doing. Yes? So therefore, rise above the rest by giving extra.
नमस्कार सर.
नमस्कार.
मैं सन्नी कुमार. सर मेरा प्रश्न है कि सर आप जब 2020 में मोदी जी को एक चिट्ठी लिखे थे, उसमें जो है चाइना एग्रेशन दिखा रहा था, तो आपने भी सर उस टाइम बोला था जो पिछले गवर्नमेंट का आप मिस्टेक मत दोहराइए और आप हार्ट लीजिए, क्योंकि सर इंडिया जो है हर बार वापस हो जाता है. मतलब चाइना जो हर बार कहता है हिमाचल मेरा ये है, तो इंडिया लेकिन कभी भी ये नहीं कह पाता है कि अक्साई चीन मेरा है. लेकिन यदि इंडिया इस टाइम पे अपना स्टैंड लिया कि हाँ अक्साई चीन मेरा है, तो यूके क्या समर्थन करेगा सर?
देखो,
थैंक यू सर.
देखो, कभी किसी के ऊपर नहीं भरोसा रखना चाहिए, क्योंकि जब आप व्हेन यू बिकम डिपेंडेंट ऑन समबडी, वो आपको गुलाम रखेगा, आपको डांस कराएगा. तो खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना अपने आप को. इसलिए मैंने प्राइम मिनिस्टर को लेटर लिखा था जब वो हुआ था, चाइनीज़ आ गए थे, कि राम हर जन्म में पैदा हुआ, लक्ष्मण नहीं हुआ। आप राम बनते हो, आगे लक्ष्मण ही तो देख लो, है लक्ष्मण के रावण है। आप हिंदी चीनी भाई भाई कर रहे हैं, वो आपके को नुकसान पहुंचा रहे हैं, आपको अंडरमाइन कर रहे हैं। आप उनका सामान खरीद रहे हो, वही पैसा लेके उसको ड्रैगन को आप फीड कर रहे हो, दूध पिला रहे हो उसको। वो ड्रैगन जब इतना बड़ा हो जाएगा, ड्रैगन है। 1 मिलियन से ज़्यादा मुसलमानों को उन्होंने कंसंट्रेशन कैंप पे रखा है। उनके सिटीजन को कोई फ्रीडम नहीं है। दे कैनॉट फॉर्म ए पोलिटिकल पार्टी, दे कैन, दिस इज ऑल कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी। इफ़ यू आर मेंबर ऑफ कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी यू गेट द बेस्ट ट्रीटमेंट। यस, ऑर्डनरी आदमी सोच भी नहीं सकता, जैसे फैक्ट्रियों में काम कराते हैं। चाइना इज़ प्रोड्यूसिंग थिंग्स वेरी चीप। क्यों? एक्सप्लॉयटेशन ऑफ लेबर। वहाँ कोई लॉ ही नहीं है, कोई बोल नहीं सकते। आपके घर को सुबह उठा देंगे और मोटर पे बन जाएगी। हमारे जो सोल्जर हैं, दे शुड बी गिवन द बेस्ट ट्रेनिंग। हमें पता है एक तरफ इस्लामिक स्टेट है, एक तरफ कम्युनिस्ट स्टेट है। दोनों के साथ हमारा कोई लेना देना है नहीं, दोनों के साथ हमारी कोई वैल्यू मिलती नहीं। दोनों ने अपने सिटीजन को स्ट्रेट जैकेट में डाल रखा है, इधर नहीं कर सकते। हम तो फ्रीडम कर रहे हैं। आप कितना फ्रीडम, भंगड़े पाते हो, डांस करते हो, विस्कियाँ पी रहे हो, क्या कुछ नहीं आपको इस कंट्री ने दिया। या जिस मर्जी को बैठ के गाली दे देते हो आप, करके देखो ना चाइना में, सुबह पता ही लगा किधर गए। सो देयरफॉर आई एम बेगिंग यू टू अंडरस्टैंड कि यू आर द मोस्ट फॉर्चुनेट सिटीजन इन द वर्ल्ड, जिसको चाहे खाना कम है लेकिन आज़ादी ज़्यादा है, फ्रीडम। हमें कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने लिख के दिया, बाबा अम्बेडकर का, उन्होंने सबको एक बराबर बनाया। ठीक है। अच्छा, चाइना के साथ मैं ये कहता हूँ कि हमें अपने जो है ना डिफेंस सिस्टम को अलर्ट रखना चाहिए। वी शुड नॉट बी थिंकिंग उसने बस छोड़ दो। जिस 3-4 दफ़ा चाइना ने हमें धोखा दिया है, और कितनी देर तक उसको ट्रस्ट करते रहोगे। तो ये मेरा था, तो आई होप यू एक्सेप्ट दिस। थैंक यू
सर।
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm Abhishek Sethi. So my question is, there's a lot of excitement around Mr. Sunak being the next PM
Prime
of
Minister.
UK. So, but the main question for us Indians is, what is his outlook towards India? What are his policies going to be?
In politics, there are no friendship, there are interest. There is no better interest to have than to have friendship with India. इंडिया कुछ देगा लेगा नहीं इनसे। कितनी बड़ी इकॉनमी, इतनी बड़ी मार्केट है, 1.4 बिलियन की, नंबर 4 और 5 इकॉनमी है। हर चीज़ इंडिया को चाहिए। वी आर द बिगेस्ट बायर ऑफ डिफेंस इक्विपमेंट। दोनों तरफ खतरा है, तो कहाँ से लेंगे? जेसीबी एक फैक्ट्री, सुनते हैं जेसीबी, अर्थ मूविंग, पहले एक फैक्ट्री आई, अब 2 आ गई। मैं उनको वही बोलता हूँ कि इंडिया आपकी कॉलोनी नहीं है कि तुम एक्सपोर्ट कर सकते हो इंडिया में। यू हैव टू मेक इट इंडिया। इंडिया इज़ ए इक्वल पार्टनर। यू हैव टू कोलैबोरेट विद इंडिया। इंडिया वो नहीं है कि जो जिस कंट्री में आप बेचते रहोगे। हम तो आपके साथ कोलैबोरेशन करेंगे। नहीं, अगर आप नहीं करेंगे तो फ्रांस कर लेगा, जैसे रफ़ाल की डील है। ये वो जो था ना, यूरोपियन फाइटर जेट था इनका, हार्पून है जी, वो नखरे कर रहे थे तो हमने रफ़ेल ले लिया। वी हैव ए चॉइस, ब्रिटेन हैज़ नो चॉइस। कहाँ लेगा इतनी बड़ी कंट्री? छोटी छोटी कंट्री 5 मिलियन 10 मिलियन के साथ दोस्ती करेगा, फ्री ट्रेड, क्या होगा? कुछ भी नहीं फ़र्क पड़ेगा। द फ़र्क पड़ेगा व्हेन यू हैव ए फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट विद इंडिया। एंड ऋषि सोनक, मैं नहीं कहता वो इंडिया को फेवर करेगा, बट उसके दिल में माँ के लिए तो प्यार होगा ना।
Well, I have a question for you. Parliamentary system has some challenges, and India has some same old laws, but Britain has moved on. So, how Britain has kept up with those challenges?
देखो जी, लॉ हैज़ टू इवॉल्व। जैसे होता है ना, ह्यूमन बींग्स आर ऑन द मार्च, दे आर प्रोग्रेसिंग। आपके बच्चे आपसे भी स्मार्ट होंगे क्योंकि वो कंप्यूटर्स के साथ पैदा होते हैं। हम तो गुल्ली डंडा खेलते थे, याद है गुल्ली डंडा क्या होता है? अभी देखो बच्चे क्या कंप्यूटर गेम्स खेल रहे हैं, कहाँ स्पेस पे और लैंड हो गया। सो द ह्यूमन ब्रेन इज़ इवॉल्विंग। किसी टाइम में कभी फैक्स नहीं सुना था, ईमेल आ गई, व्हाट्सअप आ गया, फेसबुक आ गया, कितनी टेक्नोलॉजी है। तो बच्चे वो पैदा होंगे, आपसे भी आगे निकल जाएंगे। सो लॉ हैज़ टू बी ऑल्सो हैज़ टू इवॉल्व विद द इवॉल्विंग सोसाइटी। जो 100 साल पुराने लॉ थे, वो आई थिंक मोदी जी इज चेंजिंग लॉट ऑफ लॉज। पता नहीं इनके जस्टिस कोई आए थे, उन्होंने कहा था हमने लॉ रिमूव कर दिए, वो जो बड़े बकवास लॉ थे जिनकी कोई रेलेवेंस नहीं, वी स्क्रैप दोज लॉ। Yes? So you have to change with the changing time, and the judiciary underpins democracy. याद रखना, जहाँ judiciary weak है वहाँ democracy weak है. Yes? तो इसलिए जब मैं आपको यही बोलूँगा कि please join politics as and when the time is right, but before you do, secure yourself financially. People who are not secure themselves can't secure other people. जय हिंद.
आज के इस एक मुलाकात शो में बस इतना ही. देखते रहिए APN न्यूज़.